This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update for you. There's actually a lot of news today, despite it being a holiday here in Canada, Victoria Day. So happy Victoria Day to everybody, Queen Victoria. Before I get into it, they finally announced the AEW Fight Forever video game release after 3 years of working on this game, which is pretty long, and there's a lot to be expected from this game, but it's finally coming out next month. June 29th for PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So there you go for all you video game fanatics. I did report earlier today that Billy Graham is having his funeral at the Full Life Church, 532 West Ray Road in Chandler, Arizona, this coming Thursday at noon. And apparently the family is saying they encourage fans to come to this. I know that Adam Baum is going to this. I'm sure there's going to be other wrestlers paying their respects. I know they got a GoFundMe going if you search Billy Graham to pay for the funeral. It's too bad that WWE won't pay for the funeral since they sell his toys and stuff. And he is one of the all-time icons. They wouldn't use the name superstars in wrestling if it wasn't for him. He was the first. So, I mean, it's just too bad they won't step in and pay for the funeral. Hello, Christopher. There's a lot of other news. Mercedes Moné was supposed to win the New Japan Strong Ladies title last night, but Willow Nightingale ended up winning it due to Moné's ankle injury. Moné is Sasha Banks' name, and she got injured with an ankle injury. Dave Meltzer noted, and by the way, he confirmed that it was supposed to be her winning the title, which obviously she's probably the best known overall star New Japan has right now. She is a free agent. So whatever deals she has with New Japan would, in theory, allow her to go to AEW. And this I don't agree with. As I said, I'd agree with some of his things, but I don't agree with this. He says that she would be the one big name that could build up Collision. Goldberg can build up Collision way more than Sasha Banks. I'm sorry. I mean, he's the biggest free agent that could build up Collision. More people know Goldberg and respect Goldberg than CM Punk. He's in better shape than CM Punk. He's more menacing than just about everybody on the AEW roster. And he would pop the highest rating, more than CM Punk, in my opinion. Sasha Banks, okay, she's a former WWE name. She has a fan base, but that's not must-watch TV for most people. I mean, let's get real here. I'm not saying that she wouldn't contribute to AEW, and I would certainly recruit her if I was an AEW recruiter. But come on, to say that she's the one big name when Goldberg is a free agent, that's ridiculous. He's one of the biggest wrestling stars still alive. There's still nothing about AEW Collision airing in either Canada or the UK, despite them taping about 4 episodes of Collision in Canada, which ticket sales aren't going great for any of those, with Hamilton being under 600 tickets sold in a building that holds around 18,000. Raw tonight in Hershey, Pennsylvania had 8,900 tickets out. That's always been a hot town for wrestling. They've always done really good TV tapings there. Dakota Kai is injured. She got injured on SmackDown, a torn ACL. Fast X, featuring John Cena, was number 2 at the box office this weekend. $381.5 million worldwide. Dark Side of the Ring returns May 30th at 10 p.m. It's going to be Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch in the first episode. Second episode is about Magnum TA. The third episode is going to be about Eddie and Mike Graham. And somewhere in the series is the Abdullah the Butcher episode that I'm in, as well as Piper, who's sleeping right now. She had a long day. Tom Lawler, who I once defeated in Montreal, Quebec, is returning to Japan. He wrestles for New Japan, but he hasn't been there for a while. I like the guy, so good for him. There was a UFC fighter on Saturday night that I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name, but Garimbo was his last name. And he said at the post-fight press conference, he only has $7 in his bank account, and he had to borrow $200 for training. They really don't pay well, their fighters in UFC. It's sad. I've said it before. In 3 decades, they haven't boosted to $50,000 bonuses. They're getting like $9 billion gates, not including pay-per-view revenue or TV revenue, and there's still only $350,000 bonuses. Brett, yes, Goldberg would get let's be honest here. CM Punk, he has fans that don't watch AEW unless he's on it. He has fans. I don't deny that he has a contingent of fans. But Goldberg has the fans like me that don't like either WWE or AEW or any of the other companies, and are fans from the 90s and early 2000s and are only going to watch if Goldberg's on. So I think it's ridiculous. That's about it for the news tonight. I did do a very interesting interview today that is likely going to be posted later tonight. Another note regarding this Great North Wrestling event coming up July the 15th in Smith Falls, Ontario, Canada. C.W. Anderson apparently got a movie role, so he will not be wrestling the Blood Hunter. But Jack Kilby has found potentially even a better opponent for the Blood Hunter for that show. That is going to be announced next week. There's also confirmed Carlitos on that event, and there's a lot more that are going to be announced. There's going to be several ex-WWE stars. Tickets are at ticketweb.ca. More information at hannibaltv.com. Yes, Goldberg is a better. Honestly, if they have 600 fans in Hamilton, put Goldberg on the show. They only had like 1,600 tickets in Toronto at the NBA and NHL arena, and I'm sorry, and I doubt they'd send Goldberg to Regina, Saskatchewan, where they, from what I understand, had less than 2,000 pre-sold, but that is a smaller arena. But for Toronto, Hamilton, Calgary, they got like 3,000 sold in an 18,000 seat arena. They're either going to have to curtain off a shitload, or I don't know. I think it's foolish to say Sasha Banks is the one person who could actually get Collision attention. Like none of the fans from the WCW days give a flying F about Sasha Banks. I'm sorry. She's very attractive. She's a good wrestler. But honestly, I have zero interest in seeing her wrestle. Zero interest. Just doesn't interest me. CM Punk, I probably flipped through the YouTube to see his return. But out of all of his return matches, I watched a couple, and I was never a fan of his. But I admit that he has fans. I am a Goldberg fan, a Warrior fan, the Road Warriors, Undertaker, Macho Man, Ric Flair. CM Punk is nothing like any of those guys to me. he's just not my style of wrestler. He's a wimpy looking guy that whines all the time. He's a diva behind the scenes, and he's not legitimately tough. He just doesn't impress me at all. Typhon Steen, looking forward to hearing more about the Great North Wrestling Smith Falls show. Mike, would I interview Gold virtual again? Yes. Looks are really the best thing about Sasha Banks. I won't comment on that. Not Barry's style either. WWE, I haven't heard anything. You fans that watch SmackDown can tell me, or you fans that watch Raw, because Raw is tonight, can tell me. Obviously, I'm not watching it. It's on right now. They put out a YouTube video of him saying he was part of the WWE family, and they've lost a part of the family, even though he was banned from the Thunderdome. But I'm glad they put out the YouTube video. But as far as I know, they didn't put anything about him on SmackDown. Malik says those guys were larger than life. Wallace agrees he'd rather see Goldberg than those guys. Yes, I would. I'm sorry. I hate to admit that. I find that an insult to say that Sasha Banks is the biggest draw. Like, honestly, she's only going to draw the Sasha Banks fans. The old school fans that would tune in for a Goldberg are not going to tune in for a Sasha Banks. I'm sorry. But I do think they should recruit her. I'm not denying she'd be a good addition to their roster. They need star power.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss